Someone asks me a question, a simple one. So, what do you do for fun? And I just blank. Like someone pulled the plug on my brain mid-sentence. I open my mouth and nothing comes out. Not one word. So I say something like, I don't know, stuff, I guess, and immediately want to evaporate. If this has ever happened to you, and I mean really happened, not just a half-second pause, you know how humiliating it feels. Because it's not like you don't have an answer. You have a whole life. You do things. You have opinions. But the second someone points a spotlight at you, your brain decides to go completely offline. It's one of the most frustrating things about social anxiety. You're not stupid. You're not boring. Your brain is just malfunctioning at the worst possible moment. So there was this dinner a few months ago. Someone new in the group, cool guy, easy to talk to, turns to me and asks, "What kind of music are you into?" I like music. I have playlists. I have listened to music my entire life. And what came out of my mouth was, all kinds, really. All kinds. That's what I said. And I just sat there, watching him nod politely, while my brain screamed 100 song names I couldn't retrieve fast enough. The worst part? For the rest of the dinner, I kept thinking about it. Every time there was a pause, instead of actually listening, I was rehearsing better answers. I should have said Tame Impala. I should have mentioned that concert. Why didn't I say anything specific? Why did I say all kinds? Who says all kinds? And by the time I got home, I'd basically written a 15-minute podcast episode about my music taste, in my head, entirely alone, that nobody was ever going to hear. Here's what's actually happening. When you feel put on the spot, your brain doesn't just get nervous, it gets flooded. Cortisol and adrenaline spike almost instantly, and the part of your brain that handles memory retrieval and language, it slows, way down. It's not that the information isn't there. It's that the signal is getting jammed by a panic response that was literally designed for running away from predators, not answering dinner party questions. Your brain treats social pressure like a physical threat, which means it prioritizes survival over being interesting. Here's what changed things for me. I stopped thinking of going blank as a failure and started seeing it as information. It means I care. It means I'm paying attention to how I'm being perceived. That's not a character flaw. That's a nervous system doing exactly what it was built to do. The problem isn't that you care. The problem is your brain hasn't learned yet that a dinner question isn't actually dangerous. And once I understood that, I got a lot less angry at myself when it happened. So I started doing 3 things that actually helped. 1. I gave myself permission to pause. Not the apologetic, sorry, pause. A real pause. 2 full seconds. Breathe. Then answer. Nobody clocks it as weird. Silence always feels longer in your head than it does in reality. 2. I stopped trying to give the best answer and just gave an answer. All kinds wasn't actually the problem. The problem was the shame spiral after. A short, honest answer will always beat a perfect one you can't access. 3. I started keeping anchor phrases. Not scripts, just a few things I actually like, ready to pull out when my brain froze. 1 show, 1 hobby, 1 place I've been. Just enough to restart the engine. I still go blank sometimes. Just last week, someone asked me where I was from, and I said, Ohio, and then stared at the floor for 4 seconds like I'd never been asked a question in my life. It doesn't fully go away, but it gets less loud. If your brain shuts down when someone asks you something, you're not weird. You're not broken. You're just someone who cares a little too much, a little too fast. And that's something you can work with. Drop a comment below with the most embarrassing blank out you've ever had. Mine was all kinds. I'd love to know yours.